All right, well, I'm back. I'm gonna start this video off. I hope everybody had a happy and healthy holiday. Um, it was a little rough here. Wife and I came down with the flu. It was probably, we started feeling bad on a Sunday. That went through the whole week. So it was probably, let's see, today's the 27th, 20th. It was probably about mm, probably around the 13th or 14th, but it wound up becoming we came down with the flu, influenza A. That is nothing you want to play with. This is a very, very strong virus. For me, it wasn't as bad. It put my wife in the hospital. She had severe pneumonia. She went in Thursday night and was in till Tuesday morning, right before, Christmas Eve. She got to come home, or it was Monday. I'm not sure which. The days kind of fade into another, but the point is if you are feeling ill at all, do not hesitate. Get yourself to a professional. Have yourself checked. You don't want to let this get ahead of you. Um, she's still feeling like crap. I'm still dealing with, almost 2 weeks later, I'm still dealing with symptoms myself. They've pretty much subsided with this, aside from the early morning diarrhea. Today, I was actually, I know it's not a nice topic, but I was able to forego what I can only term as volcanic diarrhea. And the thing for me was it would only happen in the mornings. To give you an idea of what this does, not that it's the way I wanted to, but I've lost 10 pounds in about a week and a half because of this. One of the side effects, again, some might not look at it as a bad thing, was an absolute total lack of appetite. Um, with that, you wind up feeling run down. Um, I didn't have the nasal or the chest mucus that my wife wound up getting, and that's what basically caused her to go into severe pneumonia. But if anyone in your family feels even the slightest bit ill, please don't hesitate. Go get yourself checked. It could be nothing. Great. That's all you need to know. It's nothing. It might cost you a copay. Okay, that's fine. You don't want to lose an entire week. And I was fortunate enough, I was already on vacation for the week that I wound up being sick. Great way to spend your holiday vacation anyway. But in any way, at least it didn't cost me any work time as far as, without pay. Not everybody could be that fortunate. So you don't start the year upside down. Please get yourself checked if you feel ill. Don't waste time on thinking, no, it's just a cold, it's whatever. That's what I did. Big mistake. Don't don't do what I did. Okay, aside from that, probably about a month or so ago, I decided I was going to do the entire 1966 Le Mans Ford GT grid. Not knowing at the time that there was 14, uh, 14 GT40s that ran, 8 of which were 7-liter cars. They were basically the factory cars. And then there was another 6 4.7 liter cars, or 289s. So I wound up scouring the internet, all my different sources between eBay and other dealers that I deal with, and I was able to come up with a copy of each individual car that ran in that 66 Le Mans, and those I'm going to show you now. So first off, with the number 1 Ken Miles Denny Hulme car. Now, anyone that's seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari knows that even though this car was classified as second, it actually won the race. He had to slow down to the point where the real second place car of McLaren and Eamon made up laps, not just seconds, laps. So, for me, this was the real winner of the race. Results be damned as they are. And next up is that McLaren car, the black and silver number 2. This one is Fly. The number 1's a slotted. There's a little Bruce figurine. And not to take anything away from Bruce McLaren, he's a hell of a race car driver, but Ken Miles won that race. Politics be damned. And then we have the number 3 car. This was the Dan Gurney and Alan Grant car. And where's my knife? There we go. Okay, so here we have another Fly car, red and white number 3. Next up, number 4, and this would have been the Mark Donohue Hawkins car. And these first 3 cars, they were the Shelby cars. The next 3 cars are Hulme and Moody. That's the gold and white with the green. And the next one up. This is going to be the number 5, the Hulme and Moody. This is another Skillectrics. This one is number 3407 of 4000. Alright, so if I can get this thing out of the box. Wow. Why is that thing so tight? You really don't want that to come out of there. There we go. There we are. A little bit stubborn. And that's the gold with the kind of a fuchsia graphic around the headlamps. Let's close this up. Next up, slot it. This is the Mario Andretti and Bianchi car. And I have to say, these cars are all extremely well detailed. They look fantastic. With these slotted covers are tight. I was afraid I'm going to tear them apart trying to get them open. Okay. Alright, so there is the blue, white with the yellow. These factory race cars really were great looking cars. Alright, and next up we have another Scalextrics. This is the number 7. This would have been Graham Hill and Muir. That's a beautiful looking car. I love the color scheme on that. It's like a reverse image of the McLaren car. This one's being mostly silver with the black. And that was an Alan Mann racing team. Alright, so next one up is another Fly. This is another Alan Mann car of Whitmore and Gardner. The detail on these cars is great. I really, really like the detail. Okay, so that was all should be all the factory cars, and then the next one's up are privateers. So our next one's going to be, this was a Fly fast kit. I took the liberty of already assembling it. This is a baby blue car, the number 12. This would have been Jochen Rindt and Innes Ireland. And this team was Comstock. Good looking cars. And you can tell they're the earlier version GT40s. Next one up. Now this is an NSR. This case is going to be tight. They usually are really tight. Okay. This is the number 14 Scuderia Filippinetti car. And that was driven by Sperry and Sutcliffe. Next one up. This was the Ford France team of Guy Leger and Grossman. That's a really pretty car. red, white, and blue, number 15. Okay, so this is another Scalextrics limited edition. Boy, these sleeves are tough. They fight you every bit of the way. Okay, now this one here doesn't have an issue number. That's a pretty car. That's another one. Real pretty car. There we go. A little tab to lift it up. The other one didn't have. So, here's this one. And this car was driven by Peter Revson and Scott. These were Essex wire cars. And there was a matching team car. So these were the only cars where the paint jobs were the same. The only thing really was different was the numbers. Other than that, all the other ones were different to the point where you could tell which car was by the paint. And you didn't have to rely on trying to see the number, which I guess in the dark would be a big help. But this one was driven by Near Pash and Jackie Ix. And like I said, that was an Essex wire car. And then last but not least, is another pretty car, another Fly. This was a Scuderia Bear team car. Hultquist and Wiley were the drivers. Unfortunately, this car never got to participate in the race as it was in a practice crash and never started. Now, the number 2 was classified the winner. The number 1 was second. Like I said, we talked about that already. Third place went to the number 5. The number 3 car retired at the 18-hour with a radiator issue. The number 14 had an accident 17 hours in. It was the highest of the 4.7 liter cars. The number 59 failed the engine at 15 hours. The number 15 had an ignition issue at the 16-hour mark. The number 60, it had an engine issue at the 11-hour mark. The number 7 had a front suspension issue at the 8-hour mark. The Andretti car had a head gasket go at the 8-hour mark. The number 8 had a clutch go at the 8-hour mark. The number 4 had a differential at the 5-hour mark. So that was the earliest of the factory cars that bailed out. The number 12 had an engine issue at the 3-hour mark. So, but that's the 66 Le Mans grid, and hopefully you find this video informative, entertaining, and like I said, take care of yourselves health-wise. It's more fragile than you think, and I don't mean to be hyperbolic about that. You just don't want to hurt yourself or your family members by not getting the treatment you need. don't be stupid like I was. Thanks. Have a good one, guys.